Hello students, in previous part we have seen some compounds such like as made up of hydrocarbon compounds. What do you mean by hydrocarbon compounds? Hydrocarbon compounds. The compounds which contains carbon and hydrogen. Or we can say that the compounds which are made up of hydrogen and carbon, those compounds are called hydrocarbons, such like as methane, ethane. They contain carbon as well as hydrogen. And in this part we will discuss some chemical properties of carbon compounds. Chemical properties of carbon compounds. How the chemical carbon compounds show chemical properties? We have seen that whenever any carbon compounds burn, that will produce carbon dioxide. Firstly, the main component is carbon dioxide that will produce whenever we burn carbon compounds. So, in chemical properties, first we will discuss on the process of combustion. What is combustion? The process in which we burn anything, any carbon compounds, or burning the process is known as combustion. The process in which we burn any substance, or we can say that burning of any substance, that process is called combustion. Combustion is mainly two types of combustion. There is two types of combustion: complete combustion and incomplete combustion. Complete combustion. We have already discussed the hydrocarbon compounds are two types: saturated and unsaturated. Whenever we burn saturated hydrocarbon compounds in sufficient amount of oxygen, that will produce carbon dioxide and water. It means hydrogen oxidized with oxygen and produce water, and there is no residues present. No residues will be left after burning of any fuel. That is called complete combustion. The burning of saturated hydrocarbon compounds and production of CO2 and water with heat and light, that chemical process is known as complete combustion. Whenever complete combustion can take place, we burn only saturated hydrocarbon compounds with heat and light. It means production of carbon dioxide with water, that two types of energy, heat energy as well as light energy. For example, whenever we burn methane in presence of oxygen, it produces carbon dioxide plus water and heat energy with light energy. We will firstly balance the chemical equation. This one is C. Suppose this is C3, 6, 12. This chemical reaction is already balanced. Complete combustion. The combustion process in which hydrocarbon compound is burned in presence of sufficient amount of oxygen, then the main product is carbon dioxide with water produced. And two types of energy, heat energy will be produced also and light energy. In complete combustion, there is no residues remains after burning of fuel. You can see that in this process there is no any residues. Residue remains. Residue means waste. Substance remains as well as the saturated hydrocarbon compound burn with blue flame. Complete combustion only can take place in saturated hydrocarbon compounds. First, this is the first advantage. Second advantage, after burning of saturated hydrocarbon compounds, no waste remains. Thirdly, this type of compounds will produce blue flame. And fourth, no smoke is produced. There are fifth advantages also. This type of fuel contain high calorific value. So these are the advantages of ideal fuel as well as saturated hydrocarbon compounds. Incomplete incomplete combustion. What is incomplete combustion? In this reaction, in this process, the carbon compounds present in oxygen, but with a shooty flame, or you can say that smoke with flame. No excess quantity of water vapors will be produced. So in incomplete combustion, residues will also remains, smoke will also produce, and the flame in this type of combustion can produce yellow color, yellow shooty color, pale yellow shooty color. We can also say the process in which burning of unsaturated hydrocarbon compound which produce smoke, yellow shooty flame. Yellow flame, we can also say yellow flame or shooty flame. The flame contains some smoke particles. There is some residues or some waste substances remains after burn. For example, whenever we burn cow dung cake, when we burn, it produces smoke as well as the residues as will also remains after the burning. So this type of complete combustion is incomplete combustion. There is harmful effect of incomplete combustion. Yellow flame produce, or we can say that shooty flame, thus yellow flame with some smoky particles. Residues is also remains, and whenever we burn this type of carbon compounds, there is incomplete. It means some substances remains unburnt. Those we may cause environmental pollution. Clear? This is the incomplete combustion. We have discussed complete combustion. For example, methane, we can also say that LPG, liquefied petroleum gas. LPG is also a saturated fuel, or we can say that ideal fuel, because it produces high calorific value. no smoke will produce, no residues will remain after burning, and the flame will produce at blue color. But whenever the LPG in cylinders remains in less quantity, there is no complete combustion can take place, then the blue flame of LPG turns into reddish or sometimes in yellow color. This is the combustion types. Now we can see that whenever we burn in LPG at home, in kitchen, we use LPG. But sometimes our utensils bottom becomes black during using of LPG. Why? कई बार ऐसा होता है कि हम किचन में कुछ सामान यूज कर रहे हैं, यूटेंसिल्स यूज कर रहे हैं, तो एलपीजी के द्वारा जले गए, जो बर्नर में एलपीजी यूज होती है उससे भी क्या होता है कि हमारे बॉटम की जो यूटेंसिल की बॉटम जो है वो ब्लैक हो जाती है. कारण क्या है? इट मीन्स देयर इज नो कंप्लीट कंबशन कैन टेक प्लेस ऑफ एलपीजी. This incomplete combustion can take place due to the not sufficient supply of oxygen. There are many holes present in the burner. The burner contains many holes contain in which supply of oxygen can take place. But sometimes these holes will blocked. This hole blocked and there is no sufficient supply of oxygen can take place. The bottom of utensils become black, because incomplete combustion can take place. This is the main effect of LPG. The second one is fossil fuel. What do you mean by fossil fuels? What are fossil fuels? First one is fossils. The dead and decay parts of animals and plants are known as fossils. And the fuel which are produced from fossils, those are called fossil fuels. The fuels which produce from dead and decay parts of animals and plants. The fuel which are produced from this type of dead and decay parts of plants and animals. Dead parts of animals and plants are known as fossils. और fuel in fossils से produce होता है, that is called fossil fuels. That is called fossil fuel. Such like as coal and petroleum. Coal and petrol. But we have seen that whenever we burn these type of fuels, these fuels contain some amount of sulfur as well as nitrogen. The coal and petroleum, these fossil fuel contains sulfur and nitrogen. When we burn these fuels in presence of oxygen, then these compounds, these components which are present in fossil fuels react oxygen and produce oxide of sulfur and oxide of nitrogen. They produce sulfur oxide and nitrogen oxide. And these oxides remain in our atmosphere. There are many harmful. These are the nature of these oxides are acidic. They are acidic in nature. And whenever rain comes out, rains, the rain water mix with these type of oxide. These oxides, sulfur oxide and nitrogen oxide, mix with the rain water and it may cause acid rain. We have already studied about the harmful effect of acid rain. These acid rain may affect our plants, crops as well as the monuments or statues which are made up of marbles. One recently most example is the cause of acid rain is Taj Mahal. The glare of Taj Mahal is day by day becomes dull. This is due to the refinery which is situated in Mathura oil refinery, and that is the petroleum refining. Or petroleum contains sulfur and nitrogen. Same, this type of condition can take place. This is the acid rain. Now we can see that on burning, some fuel produce flame and some may not. Why the some fuel produce a flame and some may not? Burning of any fuel produce flame or not? Fuels burn with flame or not? There are some fuels which produce only flame on burning, but some may not. Whenever you observe, we burn wood and cow dung cake. On burning, they produce flame, as well as we can say that candle, wood, cow dung cake, these type of fuels produce flame. LPG, CNG, as well as methane, they are also produce flame. But on burning of coal, when we burn coal in angithi, then it becomes red but do not produce flame. Why this fuel doesn't produce flame? Coal burns, or we can say that on burning of coal in angithi, it turns red in color but not produce flame. So we have seen that there are some fuels produce flame and this type of fuel doesn't produce flame. Why? What is the reason behind it? The reason behind it, the fuel which contain only gaseous particles as well as we can say that volatile substances, vapor substances, whenever they burn, they produce flame, and the substance which doesn't contain gaseous particles, they becomes red but doesn't produce any flame. So which type of fuels produce flame? The fuel which contain the gaseous particles, or we can also say that volatile substances, they produce flame, because as these type of fuel ignited, means they provide some fire. Firstly, the some particle which are gases present in that fuel, they start to burn, and they burning produce flame. But coal doesn't contain gaseous particle, so this fuel does not produce flame on burning. One more example we can take: charcoal. Charcoal is the substance, sometimes it produces flame and sometimes it doesn't. Charcoal is also known as wood coal. It means उस wood coal जो बना है, wood से ही बना जला करके उसमें कुछ particle रह जाते हैं, that time they produce flame. If doesn't contain that, at that time charcoal doesn't produce flame. So charcoal is the example which produce flame as well as not produce. So we can say that they are fuel which contain gaseous particles. Whenever they burn with flame. But the fuel which doesn't contain any volatile substance or gaseous particle, they becomes red on burning but doesn't produce any type of flame. And the next topic is, we have already used some words, coal and petroleum. These are the fossil fuels. How the formation of coal and petroleum can take place. The next topic is formation of coal and petroleum. Formation of coal and petroleum. As we have discussed, these two types of fuels are known as fossil fuels. Why these fuels are called fossil fuels? Because these are produced from the dead and decay parts of plants and animals. So they are known as fossil fuels. Firstly, discuss on formation of coal. How the formation of coal can take place? Millions of years ago, the plants and animals which were produced, which were present on earth due to some natural phenomena. It means there are some natural phenomena may occur, such like as volcanic eruption, landslides, earthquake. Due to some natural phenomena, such like as volcanic eruption, earthquake, or landslide. These types of plants and animals buried into the soil. They buried into the soil. And due to the earth temperature and pressure, slowly they turns into coal. Due to the pressure and temperature of earth, these plants and animals buried into the soil, and due to this pressure and temperature of earth, these dead part convert into coal slowly. So formation of coal is not a spontaneous or material reaction. It is a slow reaction, because the formation of coal and petroleum takes millions of years. Though this type of formation of coal can take place. The house of petroleum, such like these conditions, millions years ago, the plants and animals which were present on earth, not on earth, in water. Formation of petroleum we also can define it same just like as coal. Millions of years ago, the plants and animals which were present, these are the two lines similar, in water. Means millions years ago, the plants and animals which were present in water, due to some natural phenomena, the same condition, natural phenomena also occurred in water also. So due to some natural phenomena, they such like as volcanic eruption and landslide, earthquake, these plants and animals which are found in water buried into the silt due to some natural phenomena. such like these conditions. They buried into the buried under the silt, and due to earth temperature, pressure and acting of some bacteria on the dead body, means there are some bacteria also help in decomposition of dead and decay parts of plants and animals. The earth temperature, pressure and the bacteria decompose these dead and decay parts. Dead parts कह सकते हैं, dead parts of plants and animals, and produced petroleum as well as or petroleum or gas. Slowly the silt compressed and changed into rocks. Compression of silt and change into rocks. So petroleum and gases also remained under the rocks. Whenever these particles means petroleum and gases, they found any pores in the rocks, they comes out, and we can collect petroleum and gases from the water. This is the formation of coal and petroleum. In next part we will discuss about addition oxidation process.